Hi, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are and what time it is. Um, I have been asked a bunch, how'd you do it? And the questions are referring to how did I get clean or how do I stay clean? Now, this is going to be a multi video answer probably um, because it is something that I work on every day. But the beginning, right? Like the first day, I want to share some of the ways that I got through a minute at a time, or an hour at a time, or different times that I just had to get through. Um, so I went to a place. Now, that sounds like something simple, right? Like we just get up and go, but it wasn't that simple. I called a place for almost every day for a month. I was debating suicide. I even had a plan. I was trying my best to take care of my 2 year old daughter, which, you know, my standards today are much different. on, we were surviving. I had $4 left after doing anything and everything I could to get more. It was wee hours of the morning, and somehow I had packed up some clothes and toys and shoes for my daughter and I. So I was actually a day late going because it's hard. Even when we want to change, the idea of change is also really scary because we don't know what is on the other side of it. And even though I had already been to 11 rehabs, something felt different this time, or that time, this time. Um, so it was 10/10/17, and I woke up that morning, and before I could even let my brain start thinking, I put my daughter and the stuff in the car, and I pulled out of the driveway. Now, truth be told, I did try to get one more. I did. The person that I had been getting it from refused. $4 was not enough. And out of serious just anger, I drove through and got us a McDonald's breakfast to share. And then I started on the road because the rehab I was going to was an hour away. And I cried. I mean, boo hoo, bawled, crying, bawling, crying. That how did I get here again? How did I get this far down? I was doing, at that point, I was using crack. But over my 25-year journey of addiction, I did everything, every way. And if you know, you know. So I I really feel like I was in some kind of weird trance at that point of just total surrender. But that's just the beginning of the story because hope did break through my hopelessness. I met other people just like me, but they were clean and happy and comfortable in their skin and peaceful and living a life that I thought was a freaking dream fairy tale. So I stayed at the place for 5.5 months. I loved it there. I felt safe there. I knew, and I don't mean that in a way that I wasn't safe for myself. So it wasn't about, my environment previous to going. It was about what I was bringing into my environment. And anyway, I felt safe there. There was a lot of accountability. Every time you left there, they would pat you down and go through all your belongings. You drug screened very regularly. We didn't leave for work or anything like that. Of course, I was not employable at that point in time. I was barely learning how to like shower on a regular basis, and my body went through a lot of what we call a refeeding. Um, I was right about 100 pounds, I think, going in, which is not my smallest, but I was almost 40 years old. So right now I'm about 150. I believe I'm pretty healthy. And at that point, I was sunken in and dark circles. And I mean, it wasn't really just about how little I had gotten, because lots of people get all the way down to bones, which is so sad. And I've been there as well. You don't have to go all the way that far in order to make a change. Okay. So, God bless the staff there. I was like a raw nerve. I would react mostly anger reactions. Anger is a secondary emotion, and sometimes it's easier to express anger than it is to express fear or hurt. We did therapy, we did group therapy, we did groups. They did all kinds of really enriching, because I've been to a lot of places, and this place had a really good curriculum, a wide variety. They would meet, all the staff would come and meet with each resident once a month and just kind of check in and what do you need. And I needed things like the dentist. I wear glasses, which I try not to wear on here much because there's that glare and everything. I had a slew head to toe. They helped head to toe. So then one day, well, there was a number of things that went on for that 5 months. My husband basically left me. He was tired of my BS, and I didn't blame him. I had been lying to him for years. And we had come to an agreement about custody and child support and all of this stuff. We just didn't sign the papers. And I just focused on how can I stay clean today? So for that first 5 months, we went to meetings. We went to a variety of meetings. We went to every fellowship, and there was one that I particularly felt more at home at. But the best part of that journey is that every meeting and every fellowship you go to, they should be welcoming, because we're all broken. I mean, we're all humans are broken, but they know when a newcomer walks into those meetings that there's a level of desperation and hopelessness that's going on. And, it's a level of pain that regular earth people, might not really grasp, but people that are just like us, we do. So that's a good place to start, is just going to any meeting, any fellowship, whatever, and seeing where you feel at home, seeing what kind of resonates with your spirit. So then I had some medical issues. I had to have a couple of surgeries due to the damage on my digestive tract, which I still deal with to this day. And I had to get through all of that clean. I had gotten to a point in my journey that I was finally feeling a little hope, and I just did not go back. It is not a relapse if you take medication as prescribed by a fully informed doctor. That means you tell them that you have they all knew. Can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I did. I fully informed my doctors of this part of my history. And at that point, I was living at a rehab, so they knew that was going on. And so they were able to support and manage me and my medical stuff without narcotics, which I was really grateful for. So then at 5.5 months, the staff told me that they believed that I was improved enough that it was time for me to go. Honey, that is not what I wanted to hear. I guess I thought I was going to live there forever. I'm not really sure. But my husband and I had mended our marriage at that point. But historically, my pattern was to get out of rehab and go use. And I was so scared of that possibility. So my first tool was the phone. Now, when it comes to, I mean, I feel like everything has to be on like a scale, okay? Like, we're always gonna wanna use a little bit because at some point in time it felt good and our brains are never gonna forget that. But I have to not want to a little more than I do want to. That makes sense. So if I don't wanna use and I don't know what to do, the phone is our lifeline, especially in the beginning. It goes all the way through recovery for our lives, right? But that phone and calling and saying, I'm in a situation and I don't know what to do and I'm just trying to not get high today. Another person that deals with another addict, another alcoholic, another food addict, emotion addict. Like, there's plenty of fellowships that we can connect to. We'll understand those words and be able to support you. My phone service went out because remember, it was an hour to get there, so it was an hour to get home. My phone service dropped about halfway. And so I gripped the wheel and I just repeated, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what, I don't have to get high today. No matter what, I do not have to get high today. No matter what. Of course, I was driving, so I did not close my eyes, but that tool has helped a lot of different times in my recovery. And I'm looking forward to sharing more and more times and tools with you as we go on this journey together. Please reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to another person, even if it's a complete stranger. We're family. This disease, the disease of addiction and recovery, bring us together in a spiritual way that nothing else can. So reach out, please. We can get through this together.